But for whatever reason, the refs felt like they just had to take it away from us then and there. Awful. But all in all, you have to be happy and encouraged and proud of the way that the Timberwolves are coming out and playing, the efforts that they're putting out. Now, let's get to some specific players on the T-Wolves and my issues with the lineup, and then we'll go league-wide, and we'll put balls on fire out. But before we do that, one final schedule note. The Timberwolves do play their second home game of the season, their fourth game overall, Thursday night at 7 p.m. against the mighty Miami Heat. That's right, the Miami Heat are going to be one of the two best teams in the East, almost undoubtedly, this year, should they stay healthy. However, they have lost at least one game so far. But we'll get to that when we go league-wide. Again, that is Thursday night, 7 p.m. So if you're listening on WNLM radio here in the new Thursday night broadcast time slot, flip on the T-Wolves. Turn the TV on mute. Keep listening to Balls Deep. Boom. All right. So, now, oh yes, and then until we come to you the next time, geez, they got a bunch of games between now and next show, next Balls Deep. Saturday, they will be in Chicago taking on the Bulls at 5 o'clock. And then on Monday, we're in Atlanta against the Hawks at 7 o'clock. That'll be two tough road games, man. And then we come back home on Tuesday to host the Hornets. That should be a win before next Thursday's show, where we will be hosting the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Super tough game. More on them when we go league-wide as well. All right. So, in my opinion, the biggest and most pleasant surprise thus far through, granted, it's been all of 3 games, so you can't get too carried away. But the biggest, most pleasant surprise this season has been the play of one Ricky Rubio. I don't know if it's the more fully grown beard. I don't know if it's the new haircut. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen this Ricky Rubio play before, the one that's playing for the T-Wolves this year. And I like it. I still doubt his ability to be a starting point guard on a winning team in the NBA. I think he is the absolute perfect backup point guard, sixth man type of point guard to any team in the league. But due to his physical limitations, I don't think that he can defend the rest of the point guards in the league with consistency to be, like I said, to really be on a championship level team as a starter. But man, he is playing amazing so far this year. Biggest knock on him mostly, or at least consensus-wise, has always been that he's a terrible shooter, which he is. It's never been my biggest knock on him. I've always knocked more his, his attitude, work ethic, durability, decision-making, discipline, things of that nature is what I've always questioned more than any of his actual skills. But I've recognized he's never been able to shoot before. But this year, not only is Ricky Rubio averaging 17.3 points, which is great for him, but his field goal percentage is 45.7% on the season. Amazing. Now, he's still struggling from three-point land, only 25%, but that might even be an improvement from how bad he's been. And then he's a great free throw shooter, 90%, I said, 90% free throw shooter, only averaging 5 assists. I would like to see that number go up. Let's see, what else can we get on Rubio? He's got, excuse me, early correction, I was way off on those Rubio assist statistics. Okay, so back to it. 45.7% from the field, 17 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, 10 assists a game, just under 2 steals a game. And here's the best part, only 1.3 turnovers per game thus far. Absolutely amazing start and performance through 3 games by Ricky Rubio. Again, he looks different, and I have never seen this Ricky Rubio before. And if this is going to be who Ricky Rubio is, I like it. Ideally, to me, he is a backup point guard no matter what because of his defensive liability. But if he can continue to keep the turnovers down and keep that field goal percentage up, man, it's T-Wolves are in great shape. Another small surprise to me has been how many minutes that Kevin Garnett has been getting. He's only averaging 2.7 points per game. He's only shooting 30% from the field, 50% from the free throw line. He is averaging 5 rebounds a game, an assist and a steal. But he's getting minutes, and so we'll have to see how that plays out there. But I want to say, for the most part, it's going to be the Nemanja Bjelica. I don't know. Number 88. He for the most part, he's our power forward again. 5 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. So not too bad. But he's very young. He's growing. Let's see. We've got who else is performing well? Zach LaVine at 9 points a game. Kevin Martin, 20 points a game. Shabazz Muhammad, 7. Tayshaun Prince, that's right, we have Tayshaun Prince. We have 3 old guys on the team. We got Kevin Garnett, Tayshaun Prince, and Andre Miller. So those are your old guys. Karl Anthony Towns, the rookie. Okay, let's go to the rookie stats through 3 games here, as he is one of your 3 favorites. Definitely top 5 for sure. Like he's going to be in the top 5 for Rookie of the Year voting, barring he stays healthy. So far, 17.7 points per game, shooting 57.9% from the field. Very good shooting percentage. Let's see, free throw percentage. We got 89%. A big man that can shoot free throws. How awesome is that, right? This guy hits outside jumpers. It's awesome to watch. Let's see, what else do we got? We have the rebounds are 10.3 rebounds per game. We got, 2.7 blocks per game? Or is that 2.7 turnovers? Yeah, 2.7 turnovers. Not sure how many blocks the young man's got. And then we've got last year's Rookie of the Year, Andrew Wiggins, who is semi-sophomore slumping to start the season. He's averaging just over 14 points a game, and he is shooting an abysmal 30% from the field. And then cherry on top of that with 3 turnovers a game. And the one player I was unable to mention was our other high-profile rookie draft pick, along with Karl Anthony Towns, and that would be hometown boy Tyus Jones. He has not played yet this season due to an injury. I am not certain on when he is going to be back. Actually, upon further review, Tyus Jones is not injured. He's just not suiting up. Because we have 3 other capable, more experienced point guards than him, and he was not overly impressive in the preseason, apparently, from what I read, but who's to say? And, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I think the ideal situation there is, over the course of the next 2 to 3 seasons, that Tyus Jones is able to emerge as the starting point guard for the Timberwolves. Ricky Rubio becomes a 6th-man backup point guard, or an invaluable trade piece that you can use, to acquire the missing piece of your championship contender. But so really, the main issue right now for the T-Wolves is the struggle of one second-year man, Andrew Wiggins. I am among the many here in Minnesota that believe it is directly due to the fact that they have him starting this season at the 2 guard, where his natural position has always been the 3 or the small forward. That is what he played last year. That is what he had success at last year and won Rookie of the Year playing. But this year, for some reason, we've decided to move him to the starting 2 guard, and we've placed at the starting small forward spot the super ancient, I should be just one of the guys who dresses up and sits on the end of the bench every week now, Tayshaun Prince. Why Tayshaun Prince is starting at small forward, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's insane, contributing little to nothing. Shabazz Muhammad is better and more deserving to start at small forward than Tayshaun Prince is at this point in Tayshaun's career. However, when you've got Andrew Wiggins, a young superstar, who that's clearly where he's comfortable at playing, why not let that guy who's your building block play at his position and build around him? We have an exceptionally talented and productive at the moment shooting guard in Kevin Martin. Why the starting lineup isn't Ricky Rubio at point guard, Kevin Martin at the 2 guard, Andrew Wiggins at 3, Kevin Garnett at 4, and Karl Anthony Towns at 5 is insanity. It makes no sense whatsoever. If you want to have 1 or 2 of these younger guys on, a smaller rotation, or, maybe you want to have that main, this is our best 5 lineup, focus on that first, and then to extend Wiggins minutes as opposed to take away from Wiggins minutes. We also have a lineup where he's the 2 guard and Tayshaun Prince or Shabazz Muhammad or some other small forward on the team is playing the 3. Like, that should come second, not first, and that's not your starting best 5 option at any point by any means based off of your roster. So it's very confusing to see the T-Wolves continue to do that, to try that lineup, and hopefully next week when we're talking basketball here on the show, I can tell you how happy I am that head coach Sam Mitchell has abandoned that stupid idea and has put Wiggins back at the starting 3, put Kmart in the starting lineup at the 2, and we are just going to be crushing people. All right. So, yeah, there's our T-Wolves in depth. And now let's go around the league just a little bit, and we will officially put balls on fire out and go to the next segment here on the show. All right. So going around the league, starting in the Eastern Conference. We'll just do Eastern Conference, Western Conference. We won't break it down to divisions. In the Eastern Conference, we have a sole undefeated, and that is not the Cleveland Cavaliers, that is not the Miami Heat, not the Chicago Bulls, not the Atlanta Hawks. It is the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors are 4-0, followed by the Atlanta Hawks, who I mentioned the T-Wolves face next week, at 4-1. Other one-loss teams in the East are the Cavaliers at 3-1, the Wizards at 3-1, who I predicted both to be great this year, as well as the very surprising Detroit Pistons at 3-1. Then hovering around 500, we got the Bulls at 3-2, the Heat at 2-2, also an upcoming opponent of the T-Wolves. Knicks overachieving a little bit at 2-2, and then sub 500. All the other teams would be sub 500. Your winless teams in the East thus far would be the 76ers at 0-3, and the Nets at 0-4. All right, then moving out west, we've got 2 undefeateds at 4-0. That would be the Los Angeles Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, who will be coming to Minneapolis to play the Timberwolves next Thursday. Now, a fun fact about the Golden State Warriors and their 4-0 start this year, they have a plus 100 point differential thus far on the season. That is right. They have beat their opponents in the 4 games they've played, and they've all won. They've beat their opponents by a combined score of 100 points. That means they are averaging their average margin of victory Granted,